Hi, I'm Mayor Chris Sam, and welcome to another episode of Around Town. This episode we'll be featuring the two professional surfing events that come to town each year. Right behind me is the Oakley Lowers Pro. Let's go inside and take a look. I'm standing here with Global Events Manager, Scott Kendall. Scott, why don't you tell me a little bit about the Oakley's Lower Pro right behind us?
Absolutely. So this is the first year of the Oakley Lowers Pro. Oakley's been involved with events down at Lowers for a long time. We used to do the Oakley Pro Junior here. So we're excited to be back after a few years of taking some time off from this event, bring it back to the community. We absolutely love being around San Clemente in the first place, so it's nice to have it back.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you, and right behind us is roughly 20 different countries are represented here. Can you talk about that?
Something along those lines, yeah. We've got guys, the Brazilians are kind of holding down the fort as a big chunk of it. We have a lot of Aussies, and then we've got a lot of the Americans here as well. And there's a few other guys kind of sprinkled in. So we definitely like to represent the whole world, and we're stoked to have everybody here in Southern California.
Yeah, and one of the neat things is when you drive through town the last couple weeks, you see a lot of pros in town, and talk a little bit about how this is a qualifying series event, but we still get the draw from the bigger names.
Absolutely. One of the really cool things about this event, this level of event, the QS 10,000, is that there's 96 competitors, which gives just a big opportunity for a lot of guys who don't get to experience like some of the top quality waves like Lowers. We have over 20 of the World Tour surfers that actually signed up for this event, and then the rest of the field are those guys that are kind of on the cusp, just about to qualify, working to qualify, earning those valuable points to get onto the championship tour. So it's pretty nice to have a full spread and give those guys the opportunity to get on the tour with the rest of the guys.
So one of the cool things about living in San Clemente is we have access to these tremendous waves, and they're located here in a state park. You want to talk a little bit about your relationship with the California State Park system?
Absolutely. We have a very close relationship with the state parks. We've been working with Lori and the crew for a good amount of years now, and everything from leading up with meetings to looking at how we're going to operate on the beach, making sure that we're checking off the list with taking care of some of the plants and making sure that we're not interfering with any of the environment around the space. It's just so beautiful to be able to walk down this trail and see all of this raw vegetation, and you feel like you're in nature when you come down. Then you get to surf this unbelievable wave. So we like to work really closely with those guys. We're excited to have them as a partner.
And then you want to talk a little bit about your zero trash policy. I know when you guys leave this event, there's not a single thing left over, right?
Absolutely. As everyone knows, when you walk down here, you want it to be as pristine and beautiful as it can be, and you don't want to leave anything that was not here when you got here. So we pick up every single bit, we recycle every single bit that we can, and we definitely want to make sure that this is exactly the same as it was, if not better or cleaner, when we walk off the beach.
I'm standing here with State Park lifeguard Bill Pfeiffer. Bill, why don't you tell me a little bit about how the state partners with Oakley to run an event like this?
Yeah, we have, along with our district superintendent, Rich Hayden, we have a special event coordinator, Lori Coble, and we work closely with whoever the sponsor is. This year is Oakley, to bring the event down here. They have a process, a permit process that they go through, and Oakley won the bid for this contest this year, so that's why they're here. And it's along with like 3 contests of the year. One is the Oakley Lowers Pro, the Hurley Pro, and then we have the Surfing America USA Championships down here. There's only 3 contests allowed down here every year at Lowers.
Okay, and public access is a little difficult to get to this area, but this is one of the most pristine pieces of beach in Southern California. And you'd mentioned earlier that there was some special designation this has?
Yeah, Trestles is designated as state preserve, which is one of the highest levels of protection granted by the state. That's why there's no parking down here, and access is kind of limited. So most people have to park up on Christianitos and walk down. But for this event, we do open a special event parking lot for access, and we also have overflow parking for the event.
And how does the event work in terms of when they leave the beach clean, and they take care of it, and they really do their best to conserve the beach?
Yeah, one of the being a preserve here, it's one of the big issues is bringing an event down here and making it sensitive to the environment. So we really work hard with the with the sponsors and the production crew to make this a really low impact event on the environment down here. A lot of recyclables, no water bottles. I think a lot of times they bring in biodiesel generators and stuff like that. So everything's as low as impact as possible, and we really want to leave the beach exactly the way it was before they were here.
I'm standing here with announcer Chris Cote. And Chris, why don't you tell me a little bit about what Oakley does to give back to the community when they have events like this?
Well, it's a really cool program that Oakley's been running throughout the year, but definitely spotlighting it throughout this event. It's called Infinite Warrior. And what Oakley's done is they've kind of figured out a way to give back to the military, specifically the people that served and come back, into a normal society, I guess you will. So for these guys and gals returning from military service, Infinite Warrior is basically handpicking selected organizations to dole out grants to help enrich and empower the lives of soldiers returning back into civilian life.
Perfect. And tell me about this board that's right here between us and why it's so special.
Well, Infinite Warrior, like I said, they give out grants, and this is a way that they can help raise money. So we're actually raffling off 4 boards from different professional surfers. Chloe Andino's one of them, but this one in particular, boom, you got Sage Erickson's personal surfboard. Al Merrick, and you see her art on there, and she's autographed it. So this is a one-of-a-kind piece of surf history right here, and you could own it. You go to the Oakley website and you'll see the boards that we're auctioning off, and it's for a great cause, and it'd be kind of rad to have this thing up in your house.
So it'll just be oakley.com?
That's right. Go to oakley.com and you'll see the Infinite Warrior button on there, and you'll find out where you can buy this board, and you can either ride it, put it on your wall, so you can resell it, do whatever you want with it after you buy it, but just know when you do buy it, it's going to a great organization.
Perfect, and I'm glad we're touching on this because the Santa Fe State Parks has a lease through the military, and that's why we're able to access such great parks like this one here. So big shout out to those guys and a big thank you. Hopefully we can continue that in the future. So I'm sitting here with one of the local spectators, and sir, can you introduce yourself?
I'm a sand crab.
You're a sand crab. What's your name, Mr. Sand Crab?
I'm Dane Gudauskas.
Dane Gudauskas.
And from San Clemente.
From San Clemente, perfect. And Dane, you have a little bit more vested interest than most people here on the beach today. Who are you here to see?
Well, my brothers are in it, so I live with them. So it's been fun, I know they look forward to it every year, and this is rad. Thankful they brought it back. It's epic.
Yeah, and so for those of you at home that don't know, Dane, Pat, and Tanner are probably 3 of the best surfers in San Clemente right now. They local born guys. They went to San Clemente High School. And how are your brothers doing today?
They're good. They made it through yesterday. They were in the same heat, and it was so funny because we were getting ready, and it was like a standoff at the house. But no, it all worked out good. So the boys are on.
Yeah.
And
yeah. How excited are you guys to have an event like this just in our backyard, a place that you guys surf every day?
Oh, we love it. We come down here, rain or shine, small or big waves. So to have a contest here is epic. You feel right at home, and everyone in the community comes around and makes you feel really at home too. So yeah, this is all time.
One of the cool things about the Oakley Pros, they like to partner with local businesses from San Clemente. One of those local businesses is Bonsai Bowl. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Adam Arredondo, and I'm the manager of the San Clemente Bonsai store. And we're here making bowls on the beach for the surfers and for all the people who are watching.
Perfect. And for the folks at home, why don't you tell us where you're located in San Clemente?
Yeah, sure, man. We're on 120 North El Camino Real, where the old Velvet Yogurt place used to be, right across from Loracco's now.
Okay, and looking at your insignia here, you have skateboarding and surfing, and tell us a little bit about how Bonsai Bowl interacts with athletes and how that all works.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, surfing, skating is our mainstay. It's a big part of our culture, and like we were talking about earlier, it's cool because when you and I grow up, and people in our generation, people in their 30s, 40s, we were eating Abba-Zabbas and slurping on the Slurpees, and just pure sugar and food coloring and all this unnatural stuff. And now, these young athletes are getting addicted to healthy stuff. They're coming in, they're getting acai, pitaya, they're adding bee pollen on their bowls, hemp seeds, they know what organic is. Anyways, yeah, it's cool to see the young generation eating healthy, and then what happens is their parents end up coming in and turning into our customers, so it's been a lot of fun.
I'm standing here with Nate Yeomans, one of the local boys who was a competitor in this contest just yesterday. Nate, can you tell me what it means to have a contest like this in our backyard at Lowers?
Yeah, it's everything. It's an opportunity for us to surf in a spot we surf all the time. I think it's really cool for the kids to see and kind of get inspired and what it takes. And then, yeah, it's insane that Oakley brought it back. It's been a couple years, and I think everyone in the community, myself included, is really happy that they were able to bring this event back.
Yeah, so you had a heat yesterday, and I know a bunch of the local guys were out cheering you on. How'd you do?
you know what? I had a good go. I got a great wave in the beginning of the heat, and then I waited for a while, and my second wave, right when I stood up, my leash was stuck in my front foot, which really sucked because I was kind of in a jam. It was like being hogtied. It was like right on my toe, and I kind of had my footing wrong, and I just didn't surf that well on the wave, I think, because of that. So I went down, but I'm here sporting on my boys Tanner and Pat, and yeah, you know, I think it's cool to have them still going, and Kolohe was a bummer he lost, but always got to support the local crew.
Yeah, it's cool. We got a bunch of local guys in the contest that are going to advance through, and hopefully, like I said, we'll see them all in the finals. Here we are at the 2015 Hurley Pro at Lowers, the only WCT event held here on the mainland USA, and it's right here in our backyard. So we're gonna go down, we're gonna take a look, talk to a couple different people, and hopefully have a great day. There are many ways to get down to the Lowers Pro this year. You can park at Christianitos and walk down the normal trail to get to Lowers, or you can park off Christianitos for a $20 event parking fee. If that's full, we have an overflow parking lot located at Trails Beach. Luckily for you, if you park at the 2 designated parking locations, we do have a complimentary shuttle service that takes you to and from the event. I'm here with Evan Slater, the GM of brand marketing at Hurley, and we're here at the Blue Room. Talk a little bit about what Hurley does to give back to the community.
So yeah, we've been doing this event for since 2009. So you know, the goal down here, it's a state park. It's you know, it's a protected area, and we want to leave as light a footprint as possible. So one of the things we did a number of years ago was implement this no plastic bottle solution down here on the beach. And we actually offer these bottles up for $5. They're reusable stainless steel bottles. And we have refilling stations here as well. And you know, all the proceeds as well go back to Waves for Water as one of our clean access to water partners.
Well, that's perfect. That's one of the things I wanted to highlight was the Waves for Water. Talk to us a little bit about what Hurley does with Waves for Water.
Yeah, Waves for Water is our clean water activism partner, and they basically globally go around the world handing out filters to those who need them. And they're an amazing, small, very nimble organization, but really in the last 5 years have done some incredible work around the globe. From crises to places that are just forgotten to you name it, they've been there. And it's incredible to see how much of a real need there is for clean water around the world when you follow what those guys do.
So I know when the event travels around the world and you go to third world countries, you focus in those areas. Where did Waves for Water focus for this event?
So Waves for Water this year has kind of gone more generally. John Rose, who's the founder of Waves for Water, he just got back from Thailand implementing a program there. Last year, tied in with the WSL events, he'd do something nearby. So last year we went to Tijuana and we did some work there. But this year he's like looking more at his broader initiatives. So he just got back from Thailand. He's actually coming down to the event tomorrow.
Evan, talk to us a little bit about what the filters do and how they work.
Yeah, so these clean water filters that Waves for Water distributes, they're basically they're good for 5 years. They are good for up to 1 million gallons and help about 100 people each. So you do the math and the number of filters they distributed over the last 5 years, and it comes to this big number that I can't even read. It's somewhere, I think it's 10,267,548.
Oh, that's awesome. I was doing my best to read the number as well, so I'm glad you did it. And you said that you also partner with the Ecology Center?
Yeah, so locally we also have like an educational arm around this clean water awareness, and the Ecology Center, which is located in San Juan Capistrano, is a great place to go. It's an organic farm. They do a lot of education around just conserving water in your own backyard and how you can do that. There's no better time than now, considering the drought and everything else that's happening. And if you guys are in the area, please stop by the Ecology Center. They'd love to have you.
I'm here with Ian Crane, local San Quentin resident and professional surfer. He's the winner of the trials event for the Hurley Lowers Pro this year, and he just had an exciting heat against Felipe Toledo, one of the top-ranked surfers in the world. Ian, talk to us a little bit about how exciting it is to surf at this event in our backyard.
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. I've been coming down and watching this event since I was like 10 years old, begging my parents to visit school and coming down. Yeah, it's awesome to be a part of it. It's kind of unreal, but Yeah, it was just awesome that Hurley had the trials for us at T Street, and the fact that I was even in it at school, and yeah, awesome.
And how comfortable were you out here in Lowers? How often do you surf at Lowers?
I surf Lowers a lot, especially since I found out that I was in it. I don't know, sometimes I get lazy and I'll just go surf T Street, but the fact that I knew I was in it the last month or so, I was down here a lot, having fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Your last sea with Felipe Toledo, as you were saying, was a nail biter up until the last minute, and some of the hoots and hollers you were getting were the biggest ones we've heard all day, so that's pretty exciting, right?
Yeah, sink many. Yeah, everyone's down here, and it's cool to have the support, and yeah, I mean, if I wasn't in it and someone else from St. Clemente was, I'd be down there screaming too, so I'm glad people were rooting for me.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Ian, and thanks for coming down, and thanks for doing such a good job by St. Clemente, man.
Yeah, represent.
Yeah. I'm here with Kieran Perot, the commissioner of the World Surf League. Kieran, talk to us a little bit about what it takes to build a mini city, essentially, here at Lowers.
Massive amount of sweat and a lot of effort from a lot of people. It's an enormous undertaking for sure, given we only get a small window to do that. So we get a small period of time to set up right before the event starts, and everyone works really hard to get it done.
Yeah, and we took a tour of the comms trailer here. We saw many guys working there and just making the live feed happen. And I'm sure there's tons of other things happening behind the scenes here, behind the fences that we're not seeing. What are some of those things we don't see?
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff's catering. Obviously, there's a lot of people down here, so catering for all of the staff, all of the athletes, and their guests. That's a pretty enormous undertaking. Just the whole setup of how the contest unfolds, production-wise, like you said. Upstairs, we've got the judges, and involved in all of that in the judging and sort of the control room in the heart of undertaking an event like this. There's a lot of people, beach commentary, the web commentary team is sitting up there, and yeah, everything's connected.
And how many days beforehand do you guys get down here to set this up?
I think we get about a week, and then there's some dark days that you have to go because it's Labor Day weekend, so you have to go dark over the final 2 days, and then they get one more day just to finish off things. So.
Okay, and what's the takedown time for something like this?
I think they get about the same amount of time. It's not long.
Yeah.
It's hard work to get it down.
And one of the cool things that you guys focus on is making sure you leave the beach better than you found it, right?
That's the plan, exactly. Wherever we go in the world, we're really conscious of the environment, especially the local environment that we're in, and that footprint of when we're here, it's pretty big. We've got a lot of people down here, and we're always looking out for trash. We're always looking out to make sure we're not trampling vegetation, and when we pack up, we want everyone to come down here and sort of know that nothing's changed.
Although we aren't Surf City USA, we are hosts to two of the greatest events in surfing. Hopefully next year we'll see you down here. And remember, I'll see you around town.